Is it visible?
Yeah, yes, it is. It is.
Okay, yeah, I think we can start now. So yeah, hi everyone. So
Right.
today's topic is how you can become a data scientist at Amazon. So I'll brief you through the process, what are the skills required, what is the domain knowledge and all. So let's begin our today's session. So before I'll begin with the session, let me introduce you with my background. So I am working at Amazon as a data scientist, and over here I am working on a problem of detecting bot versus human on advertisement platform. And prior to this, I worked as a lead data scientist at Cipla. Therein, I had the manufacturing department and improve the efficiency of drug production in their manufacturing department. And before that, I worked at Verizon as I joined there as SD. But since I had great interest towards data science, I slowly moved towards data science field at Verizon. So this is a brief about my background. I have around 5.5 years of experience in data science now. So for today's session, first we'll understand about data analytics, what data analytics means, why it matters now, what are the various domains you can apply data analytics to. Then we'll talk about what are the skills required for data scientists at Amazon. Then what are the some project ideas which you can have in your resume will help you in getting job at companies like Amazon. Then what are the different active job roles around data analytics at Amazon. Then what is the interview process, and finally I'll give you some of the tips you can use for better selection process. So yeah, let's understand what data analytics means. So data analytics is an art of examining the data. It's an art of pulling insights from data. So data analytics is nothing. It's just an art in using some techniques, tools to pull out the insights from the data. The techniques, tools can be statistics related, can be machine learning or deep learning related, can be other mathematical tools. So these are the tools which we use to pull out the insights from the data. And we tend to examine large sets of data, which possibly a human mind cannot examine when he or she is working on that data. So we try to use these algorithms, these statistical concepts to pull out some of the insights from large set of the data. So that is called analytics. So wherever you have a bunch of data, bunch of records in the data, you can apply data analytics to, be it using statistical methods or be it using machine learning or deep learning method. It depends on you, but you can use pretty much everywhere if you have the data. The tools and technologies differ with kind of data, different kind of data. So with images, you have to go with certain kind of tools and technologies. With textual data, you need to go with certain kind of tools and technologies. But in on high level, the technologies remain same. Statistical concepts remain same. It's just some of the tools are different for each of these types of data. So yeah, in bigger picture, data analytics is just art or technique of pulling out insights from the data. Now, why there is sudden boom of data analytics, and will this be there for longer period of time, or is it for just 5 to 6 years? So I would say let's understand why there is a boom of data analytics now. And by understanding this, you will be able to understand that will this be sustained for longer period or not. So these days, hardware computation has become very much cheaper and accessible to all. So we had these statistical concepts and mathematics mathematical concepts earlier as well in 1960s, 1950s, 1800s. We had these theories before as well, but we didn't have the power of analyzing large set of data because we didn't have the hardware to do that. But in today's world, we have that hardware as well, and that hardware is available in cheaper cost as well. So since computation has become a cheaper, that's why data analytics has become more important these days. So if you can guess that data analytics, no, computation will become cheaper and cheaper going forward. That means data analytics will become more accessible, more important going forward. So it's really a very good time to enter in this field of analytics because we are having the cheapest computation power we ever had. And this computation will become cheaper and cheaper with the time. As you can see, like there are many cloud services, just like Amazon has AWS. So in those services, you don't even need to buy your hardware. They are providing you themselves on cloud platform. So uh, hardware power has become a lot cheaper these days, and it is more accessible than it was ever before. That's why data analytics is on boom these days, and it will be sustained for many more years. And coming to the part of application of data analytics, you guys must be wondering like where we can apply data analytics to. So I would say like pretty much to every field, data analytics can be applied. I have mentioned some of the subdomains, but you can apply anywhere data analytics. So if you see, data is generated at every platform, at every point, and in every industry. So if you are looking into the camera, that is also generating data, recording data. If you are going to a kirana shop, he or she is also recording data. That is also data driven. If you are going to a big giant like Amazon, over there also they are using data. They are using recommendation system. So everywhere data is available. If in your family you guys are having any business, there also data would be there, be it sales data, be it purchase data, customer related data, any data. It's just if you have the data, data analytics can be applied. And as I mentioned earlier as well, data analytics will be, I should say, like computation will become cheaper and cheaper, and data analytics will be applied more in the areas which wherever it is not applied right now. So if you say grocery store is there for Blinkit, and grocery store is there for a small kirana shop which is near us. But since computation is not accessible for that kirana shop, that's why only Blinkit is applying data analytics. But application is possible in both of these scenarios. And going forward, every kirana shop, every small shop will be able to access these algorithms, these computation power, and hence data analytics will only grow. So yeah, if you had any concern related to data analytics and its future, then I would say data analytics will only grow and grow. So there is nothing stopping data analytics from growing. So now we have understood about data analytics, like what data analytics means and will it be there for many more years or not. So let's talk about how are the responsibilities of data and data scientists at Amazon. Like we as a data scientist, what we do in our day-to-day life, and this will help you in understanding what kind of skills you are required to become a data scientist at Amazon. And these are the some of the steps I have mentioned. These steps I have mentioned with respect to data scientists, but these are also applied for data analysts. And some of the sub steps of these 5, 6 steps are applied for business analyst also. So if you're targeting for business analyst role, if you're targeting for data analyst role, or if you're targeting for data scientist role, these are some of the common steps which we apply at Amazon, and these will be helpful for you irrespective of what is the role you are applying for. So we begin with understanding the problem. So as I explained in my scenario, I am working on bot detection on an online platform, ad platform. So if an ad was viewed by a human or bot, that's what we are working on. So this is a problem, but we need to understand like what data we have to use, what for what supply we need to solve this problem, what are the various features we would be using, and how we will classify this if this was viewed by a human or a bot. So this comes under problem understanding. So we begin with understanding the problem. We begin with understanding the data, what are the different features, how we can begin with the solving problem. So that's the part we begin with. That comes under understanding the problem. Once you have understood the problem, you start with collection of data. So data collection includes it can be structured data, it can be unstructured data based on your problem. But we finalize our different data source. Like these are 3 4 data source we need to collect the data from. Then we collect the data from these different sources and combine them to a final data set. Once that data set is prepared, we tend to validate that data set. If that data set is created properly, if it is not having any creation problem, if it is not having any missing value, is it complete? Is it correct data or not? So we look into the data, we validate its correctness, we validate the missing values. We also try to find out if the data is uniform or not. So let's say I made the data from 5 different data sources and combine that data into one data set. Now, once the data set is prepared, my first duty would be to uh, check the correctness of data. Like if I have joined the data properly or not. Like if some join was here and there or not. Like data is as per expectations or not. So I just validate the number of records. Is it matching the as per the expectations? I validate various metrics based on my domain. Are those metrics matching as per my expectations? I validate there are various different aspects based on the problem, and I validate all of those based on my requirement. So once my data is validated, once I have confirmed that this data is complete and correct, I begin with my analysis on it. So in analysis, I try to identify some trends by analyzing the data, by visualizing the data pictorially, or by looking at some of the statistical uh, metrics of that data. So I begin into data, understanding the data. I begin into looking into understanding of the data and plotting that data on bigger charts and graphs and try to understand, yeah, this data is looking correct or not, if this is going as per expectations, and what different features are telling us, what each feature is telling me the story. So I visualize the data. I try to identify what are the different patterns based on which I take further steps. So let's say I plotted feature A, and there is some correlation between feature A and feature B, which I confirm through my plots. Then based on that insights that A is related to B, I try to find out what could be my next further steps, like how should I make the model. So these are the steps which are involved in analyzing the data, which is visualization, applying statistical methods, visualization through BI tools, through Python libraries, then applying some of the statistical methods to find out if data is telling me what story. And on the basis of this, I make my model and then do my predictive analysis. So over here, I apply various models based on the story I have got till now and based on the data I have. So based on the problem statement, based on the data, based on the insights I have got till now, I apply my models and do the predictive analysis on that. Once everything is done, I have gathered my information from analysis. I have gathered my information from uh, predictive models. I present these findings to my manager, to business stakeholders, and try to tell them the story around the data. Like, this is what data is telling us, and this could be the future key points in the data. So that I present to my business stakeholders, my managers, senior managers, and directors. And once that is confirmed, like they are convinced with the result, we go ahead with productionizing the model or my analysis. So that's how the flow of a data scientist or data analyst goes at Amazon. You begin with understanding the problem, you create the data, you verify the correctness of data, you look into the patterns of the data, make predictive models, and present it to business. So if you are targeting a data analyst job, you just have to you don't have to do the predictive modeling part over there. So till analyzing point, till point number four, you have to work around and then present it to your business and productionize the model. So in productionization as well, you will get the help. So if you're targeting data analyst role, you have to understand the problem, make the data set, identify the pattern, and present it to you to business stakeholders. So that's what your job is. And if you are targeting for business analyst role, your work will begin with understanding the problem, looking into somewhere around the data, understanding the data, collecting a little bit of data, and then giving your insights, your values to data analyst to your business, and based on that, they take the project ahead. So that's what the steps are. So if you have covered all of these steps, you can become data scientist, you can become data analyst, you can become business analyst. You can do any of these jobs if you have covered. So based on your job, you have to cover some of the steps from it. So if you're targeting for data scientists only, all of the steps are required. But if you're targeting for data analysts, some of the subsets will be required. And for data business analyst as well, some of the subsets of these steps will be required. So based on your job profile, you can target to learn these steps. So these are the day-to-day steps which we do as a data scientist, analyst, or business analyst. Now let's understand what are the various skills you will be required at Amazon. So I have divided these skills basically into two parts: hard skills and soft skills. Hard skills are those are technical skills which we learn. Soft skills are, again, these skills are very important at in getting job at at Amazon. So if you want to target, irrespective of any job profile you target, be it analyst, scientist, engineer, whatever the job profile you are targeting, soft skills are required. And these skills are equally, or I should say, these skills are even more important than hard skills. So if you are only focusing on your hard skills like technical skills, stats, probability, but not focusing on your soft skills like communication, resume building, problem solving, collaboration, then it's it's very rare that you are going to get into companies like Amazon. Because if you want to communicate, if you don't know how to communicate, you will not be able to communicate your insights which you have gathered in your past projects. You will not be able to communicate your hard skill knowledge. And so communication is very must. So it is required. Resume building is also required. So if you don't have a good resume, you will not get an interview call. So having a good resume is also again required. So tailored resume according to the job description, according to what you have learned, is required again. Then coming to problem solving, if you don't know like how to solve a certain problem with your critical or analytical thinking, then again you will fail at certain point. Because in interview process, people at Amazon also judge the critical thinking, the analytical thinking, like how you solve a problem. Let's say it does not matter that that problem is technical only. So you can solve the technical problem, but what if you are a part of problem that is non-technical? How are you going to approach? if you are stuck at some point, if you're blocked at some point, how are you going to resolve yourself? So those kinds of skills are also taken very seriously while interview. So that is again required. And then collaboration is so collaboration means collaboration with team. So how collaborative you are, how good you are with working in a team. So every company requires team building. So if you are an individual worker or a team worker, so that is again very important for companies. So if you have collaborative skills, then again this is a very good sign for you. So you should focus on soft skill as equally as you will be focusing on your hard skills. So focus on resume building, communication, problem solving, collaboration. These are the skills which are required for you to get the interview and for you to clear the interview as well. Now, coming to the hard skills, over here we you need to learn statistics, probability. So these are required as part of data scientist. These are required as part of data analyst as well. So if you're targeting data analyst job or data scientist job, a deep knowledge of statistics and probability is required from you. And if you're targeting for business analyst as well, over there as well, a high level knowledge of stats and probability is required. So in short, stats and probability is required for all of these uh, subdomains which I have mentioned you. Then Python and SQL is required. Like you should be good with Python. You should be very good with SQL. So again, SQL is very important. So you should be good with Python and SQL. And then R is required at some domain. But if you are just beginning with data science and data analysis, it's not mandatory. R is not mandatory because most of the companies are working on Python only. So Python is mandatory, R is optional. Then Excel is required, Power BI or Tableau, any of these tools is required. So Excel and BI tools will help you in plotting your data, in visualizing your data. And Excel will help you in getting quick answer with your data, like what is the quick summary of the data, I should say. So like what is the mean of certain column, what is the average, standard deviation, how you can transform that data. So Excel is again required in quick analysis. So again, for data analyst or data scientist, these all skills are required, Excel or BI tools. R is optional. If you have time, you can cover R as well. Then coming to ML or deep learning. So this skill is again required for data scientist only. If you are targeting analyst or BI role, it is not required for you to cover ML or deep learning. You can have a high level information about these subdomains. That can be a plus point, but that's not a required or mandatory skill from your side. So having knowledge of machine learning and deep learning is required for a data scientist. If you're targeting for a data science role, a very depth in deep knowledge for ML is required. In deep knowledge of deep learning is also required. Basic concepts of deep learning is required. And if you have interest in NLP or computer vision, that can be a plus point for you. So these skills are required for a data scientist. And then big data is required again for the knowledge of big data, like a high level knowledge or basic concepts of big data, how you can interact with a large number of records, billion records, or how you can use Spark, Hadoop. So these kind of high level knowledge is required for a data scientist. So if you're targeting for data scientists, these all skills are required. If you're targeting for analyst, till the point of BI, Power BI, W, it is required. The skills are required. And if you're targeting for business analyst, then stats, probability, and SQL and no programming knowledge of Python, high level knowledge of Python is required. So in short, these are the skills which are required for you if you want to get into Amazon or similar companies. Yeah, so here I have mentioned some of the project ideas which are like good to have. So in order for you to get an interview, your resume should be good. And for a good resume, projects should be there. So you should be focusing a lot on what projects you have done and what skills you have applied while solving those projects. So these are some of the data which are available to us, and you can use these data sets as your projects ideas and incorporate in your resume. So these data sets have opportunity of applying skills for a business analyst, for a data analyst, for a data scientist as well. So let's say if you are targeting for data analyst role only, then you can look into analysis of world economic data, and you can do your analysis over there. So in that respect, you will be having an option of pulling out the data that is through available APIs. You will be having an option of analyzing the data and showcasing your skills. So if you're targeting for data analyst, you can go ahead with this project, or you any of these projects can be applied. I'm just giving you an example. If you are targeting for data scientist role, let's say, you can take Netflix data and build a recommendation system. So depending on the role, you can take any of these data, and all of these data have opportunity of applying data analyst skills as well as data scientist skills. And if I'm talking about data analyst skill, business analyst skill is already included in that, because business analyst is a subdomain of data analyst. So yeah, you can apply your all knowledge, be it statistical knowledge or be it machine learning related knowledge in all of these projects. So these are some of the projects which are good to have in your resume. Now, what are the different career options available at Amazon? So if you're targeting data related opportunities at Amazon, there are five different kind of roles mainly. There can be some other roles, but yeah, mainly five different roles are available, which are business analyst, data engineer, data scientist, and applied scientist. I'll I'll brief you in short for all of these roles, like what are the expectations from each of these roles. So beginning with business analyst. So the expectations from business analyst is to give a use case which is related to data analyst or data science field. So as a business analyst, you have to understand the problem, you have to understand the domain first. Once you have understood the domain, you need to understand the data, like what data is there, what are the different features. Once you have understood this problem, you need to pull the data out. You need to look into the data using SQL, using other technology, whichever is available. Using these technologies, you need to pull out the data and try to understand what data is telling you. So in order for you to understand what data is telling you, you need to have probabilistic and statistical knowledge. So as a business analyst, your job will be to provide a use case which can be consumed by data scientist or data analyst. So that is the expectation out of a data analyst. So as a data analyst, you should be good with SQL. You should be having basic knowledge of statistics, probability, and a basic knowledge of machine learning algorithm, like how they work. A very basic knowledge of these as a data business analyst. If you're targeting for data analyst role, you should be knowing Python, you should be knowing SQL, you should be knowing how to pull the data, how to make a data set out of it. Then you should be knowing how to visualize the data in various format, like be it in graph using matplotlib libraries of Python, be it graph using Excel, or be it graph using BI tools. So you should be good with using dashboard tools like dashboarding. You should be good with dashboarding using BI tools. You should be good with visualization using various technologies I have mentioned. So this is what is the expectation from uh, data analyst. Coming to data engineer, the expectation is you should be good with big data. You should be good with Python, very good with Python. So you should know like how to pull out billions of records, how to handle those records, how to process those records efficiently and fast in very quick manner. So as a data engineer, your focus will be around data only, pulling the data and storing the data so that analysts or scientists can consume it. So over here, the skills required would be Python, big data, and SQL mainly. That's what is required from data engineer. From data scientist, as I have explained earlier, all skills like uh, knowledge of big data, probability, Excel, BI tools, machine learning, deep learning, these all are required. Then coming to applied scientists, a specific, in addition, like applied scientists will have requirement of all the skills which are required for data scientists. In addition to that, productionization is must. Like applied scientists should know how to deploy a model. So at companies like Amazon, for data scientists as well, productionization is kind of must only. So interviewer expect that you know how to productionize the model, you know how to deploy our model on cloud. That is a requirement, but they don't state that it is a must, but they look for the for that skill as well. But in applied scientist it is a must, so it is a mandatory requirement that you are aware about how you can deploy a model on cloud. So yeah, these are various uh, roles which you can achieve around data only at Amazon. So this is again a stat from Glassdoor, which states that out of 250 resumes, only 4 to 6 are interviewed, and only one will get a job offer. So if you see, the probability of getting job offer is 1 by 250, which is quite low. So if you want to succeed and if you want to get into field of data science at companies like Amazon, I would say upskilling is very much required. You should be having right skill at right time. So the skill includes both hard skill and soft skill. And I am emphasizing more on soft skill because people tend to ignore this skill. So you should be having good skill, good grasp on both kind of skills, and having good skill will only get you a job offer. So have a good skill and get yourself upskilled, and you will definitely get a job offer because there is scarcity of skilled people in the market. So this is a stat I wanted to show. Now coming to the interview rounds, like what are the various rounds at Amazon we have. So generally we have 4 to 6 round, I should say. I have mentioned what are the most common rounds and how the interview begins. So once your resume is shortlisted, there is a screening round wherein manager calls you, hiring manager calls you and try to understand your experience, like how what is your experience, how you were working before, what are the technologies you are working on, are you a good fit for his or her team, like are you a good fit for companies as in Amazon. So this kind of screening is done initially. Once the manager or hiring manager is satisfied with your background, with your current skills or with your behavioral skill, he moves ahead with technical round. So technical round can be one or two. They can be different rounds based on your experience, based on the job profile you are targeting. There can be one round, there can be two round as well. So in technical round, they try to assess your technical knowledge. They will ask you a question around SQL. They'll ask you a question around Python, like as in they'll ask you problem statement, give you problem statement, and I'll will ask you to write up a code in Python. Once these things are done, they will ask you question on your domain knowledge, like around statistics, around probability, around machine learning, deep learning. So these kind of your technical skills will be judged in this round. And depending on the job profile you are targeting, questions would be there. So If you are targeting business analyst role, question would be around SQL. Question would be around basics of stats and probability. If you are targeting a role of data scientist, question will be around SQL, Python. Question will be around statistics, probability, deep learning, machine learning, and if you have mentioned NLP and computer vision as well, so question will be around those as well. So these kind of technical skills are judged in this round. Once this round is cleared, you will be having a case study related round. So in case study related round, they will give you a very high level problem statement, and you need to solve that problem statement. So problem statement will be like, for example, I'm telling you, a problem statement can be like, there was a product, a number of users were using, and suddenly there is a drop in number of users. So how you will begin with solving this problem? So over here, you will have to apply your all statistical knowledge, machine learning knowledge, data collection knowledge, and try to solve this problem. So you can begin with like saying you will collect the data using these technologies. You will apply these statistical concepts. You will apply these ML knowledge, this deep learning knowledge. Based on what domain you are targeting, you can provide the solution according to that and walk through a final solution, like and walk them through final solution, saying that this is how I will solve this problem, and this is how I will find the final insights and present it to business. So that's what is covered in case study round. Then coming to tools and technology round, over here you will be judged on various tools, like whatever you have mentioned in your resume, whatever job role you are targeting, you will be covered judged on those knowledge those technologies only. So let's say you are targeting for data analyst role, so they will be asking you question around how you can use dashboard, what are the various methods of using dashboard, how you can achieve this or that using your Power BI and so on. So based on the profile you are targeting for, the tools and technologies around that will be covered. If you are targeting for big data, questions will be around Spark. If you are targeting for business analyst, questions will be around SQL mostly, Excel mostly. So based on what job profile you are targeting for, questions will be around that only in this round. And then finally, there is a managerial or leadership round wherein Amazon tries to identify if you are culturally good for them. Like, are you fitting in their culture or not? So they have some around 10, 20 leadership principles, and they will try to find out if you are matching with, aligning with those leadership principles or not. So this will be more focused on your behavior and less focused on technology or technical skills. So these are some of the various rounds at Amazon, which you will be encountering if you are getting called from Amazon. So I would say, like, if you are preparing for Amazon related interview, prepare for technical knowledge, prepare for a case study round wherein you will be having a case study, solve that case study, and then obviously focus on what technologies you will be using in order to apply your skills. So be it the Python, be it SQL dashboarding tool like BI, focus on those tools, and then finally work around the situations wherein you can present the leadership principles for Amazon. So in short, these are the major focus areas for you to cover if you are targeting Amazon related interview. So these are some of the tips for success, I would say, like how you can have an extra edge among other candidates. So focus on continuous learning, like focus on what is the latest trend and technologies in the market. So in market, every day a new technology is coming. And if the technology is better than previous, that will be adopted. So have an eye on what are the new technologies coming in market, have an eye on research paper, and try to have a knowledge about what is going on in latest trend in latest technologies. And then try to have online workshops, conferences, online courses. These will help you in, getting the updated knowledge, because these conferences, workshops, online courses, these are updated regularly, and they know that what are the skills which are trending in the industries these days. So using these, you will be able to understand what are the latest technologies you need to focus on. So have an eye on these. Then getting a practical experience, or experience or real world projects is also good. So having a real world project, contribute to open source project, contribute to have an internship. So have these things as well, so that your resume, your profile looks strong. If you are having an open source project, if you are having some real world project, just like I have mentioned earlier, if you have those projects mentioned in your resume, your chances of getting shortlisted is it increases significantly. So have these practical experiences as well. Then networking is also required, like connect with individuals on LinkedIn, connect with people on various data science communities, various data science groups. Try to attend meetups around you. Like if there are any meetups, try to attend there, and attend those meetups, and have a good network, so that when in need you can use that network. So networking is will also help you. Then finally, showcase your work. If you are able to showcase your work on some online platforms, like you can write bunch of blogs around your findings on some projects. You can present your projects to conferences. You can publish your work into some research. That will be again very useful for you. So if you are able to catch up with any of these, or with all of these, that will have you an extra benefit with other candidates. So I would recommend, like if you are able to follow these tips as well along with your learning, which I've explained earlier, this will help you in getting your job at Amazon quicker. So yeah, this was it for today's session. I hope you got the information, like how you can become a data scientist or analyst or business analyst at companies like Amazon, or specifically at Amazon. So yeah, before moving towards Q&A, I would like to share one of the experience from myself that I think can be helpful for you in getting job at Amazon faster. So I would say that if you are beginning to learn data science, and if you are aiming for companies like Amazon, you should be having right skill with right, you should have right skill with right profile. So having yourself upskilled will help you. And if you want to get upskilled, I would recommend you to take any paid course online. Take paid courses online rather than taking free courses. Why?